Hello, and thank you everyone for being here. I would like to begin with a few thank yous, if I may. I'd like to begin by thanking Assistant Special Agent in Charge Michael Ferguson and the Drug Enforcement Agency. Thank you for all the tools, resources, funding, and the great partnership we share in ridding our community and freeing our community of dangerous drugs and those who deal them. I also like to thank Joseph Spataro and the statewide prosecutor's office. Thank you for always doing such a diligent job prosecuting the cases that we make against these individuals. We sure appreciate all your support, Joe. And I'd like to thank the men and women of the Special Investigations Division. Thank you for all your hard work, your sacrifice, and for always putting yourselves in those dangerous situations to rid our community of those individuals who poison it day in and day out. Thank you for all of your hard work. In just a moment, we'll tell you about people we have arrested as part of Operation Ice Cubed, which was named from 3 of the targets, which are brothers. Your sheriff's office and our partners take criminal actions of these individuals extremely seriously, and they will be prosecuted at the state level. This operation centers around a home located at 1804 South Forbes Road in Plant City. As you can see on the monitor, this house is not one that any person would want to live next to. Throughout the property is significant debris, a number of what appears to be inoperable vehicles, and a roof that appears to be falling apart. To make matters worse, over the past several years, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office has responded to more than 100 calls for service at this address, and we've included those details in your press packets. As a result of those calls for service, 3 court-authorized search warrants were served at the location with some drug and currency seizures. Our team did not stop there with the execution of these search warrants. We obtained additional criminal intelligence that led detectives to initiate an investigation into a drug trafficking organization located in the Plant City area. This investigation, which took about 7 months, involved numerous undercover purchases of methamphetamine, totaling about 4 pounds, valued at approximately $90,000, and the seizure of almost $30,000 in cash. On Thursday, April 11th, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office detectives and the Drug Enforcement Administration executed a court-authorized search warrant at 1804 South Forbes Road and at another home connected to this investigation at 13416 San Juan Diego Way. During the search of the home on Forbes Road, detectives found more methamphetamine, a loaded stolen 9mm Smith & Wesson firearm from Polk County, and 4 additional handguns, miscellaneous drug paraphernalia, cash, and they also seized the 2012 Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Today, we are pleased to announce we are charging more than a dozen individuals. Their mugshots and charges are scrolling on the monitor now, and these suspects were arrested in a warrant roundup on the same day. With these arrests, we have impacted the availability of methamphetamine on our streets and likely reduced the number of people who may have become addicted. At this time, I'd like to invite up DEA Assistant Special Agent in Charge Mike Ferguson to comment further on this investigation. Mr. Ferguson?
Sure. Appreciate it. First, I'd like to commend the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Department Office on their outstanding investigative efforts in Operation Ice Cubed. The operation highlights the partnership and collaboration that the DEA enjoys with our state and local partners, as well as the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. Without the commitment from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office and our state and local partners, we'd be ineffective almost in dismantling these drug trafficking organizations. These organizations are entrenched in the communities. Since 2010, the DEA has seen methamphetamine spike. It's driven by the Mexican drug trafficking organizations that are entrenched in Mexico and have affiliations throughout the United States. We've seen the meth increase to over 90% purity, and the prices drop dramatically. So gone are the days of the mom and pop meth labs in the back of a trailer or the back of a residence. There still exist, but this product that they're producing is #1. and people want it. Unfortunately, it's driven up the demand for Mexican meth in the United States. The illegal sale of methamphetamine and other drugs throughout Hillsborough and the United States also corresponds with the violence that comes with it. As the sheriff stated, there were weapons seized. They don't keep those weapons there for the protection of their children. It's there to protect the drugs and the money that they earn. More importantly, it impacts the community. Hillsborough, Tampa Bay, as the sheriff mentioned, Polk County was also associated with this through some stolen weapons. It taxes the resources of your local law enforcement. As Sheriff Chronister stated, these arrests will impact the organizations and stem the flow of methamphetamine into Hillsborough County. I'd like to thank Sheriff Chronister for his commitment to the DEA task force and the unwavering friendship that they've shown during our time here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. At this time, we'll open it up for questions.
Can you talk about where they were making it, or where were they making it, where it was coming from?
I want to. But that's part of a continuum. That's part of the continuing investigation. Jeff Harris, you want to talk about that a little bit?
I can answer that question specifically. Like Mr. Ferguson stated, it appears this methamphetamine isn't your homemade from a meth lab. This is most likely Mexican-made methamphetamine that's imported into the country through the drug cartels.
And that is good news, because often times the only way we can identify a resident that's making methamphetamine is when they blow themselves up. So you can understand the danger that poses to our community with those deadly chemicals in the air to first responders and anyone else in neighboring homes. Not to reveal too much information, because this investigation will certainly continue, but like the Major said and Special Agent in charge Mike Ferguson alluded to, this is being imported in, and the import of these dangerous drugs is certainly impacting our community. I think that's what makes this case so special, is the arrest of these individuals certainly have a tremendous impact on the desire here, and maybe those who may have become addicted because of it.
Sheriff, this has obviously been going on for some time now. What's to stop these guys from bonding out of jail and going back into business somewhere else?
Well, I think that's where the great work of the statewide prosecutor's office comes in. They've done a wonderful job of prosecuting these individuals. They all have lengthy criminal histories, a lot of it to do with delivering narcotics and drugs into our community. They've had great success. I mean, think about this, Chip. The first case that was prosecuted in the state of Florida from someone who dealt the deadly dose of an opioid of heroin was successfully prosecuted here with the statewide prosecutor's office. I can't say enough what a great job they do. So we rely heavily upon them to make sure that doesn't happen.
Sheriff, out of the 17 arrests, is there a ringleader, folks we should be highlighting?
Yes, I think the three individuals, the three brothers and their grandmother, as you could see in your press packet, those are the ones that were highlighted during our case. Hence why we named the operation Ice Cubed. Ice is another word for methamphetamine, and cube because of the three brothers involved.
Sheriff, actually when they did that operate over there, a lot of immigrants that lives in the area run away in between the farms because they were scared. What about that case? Are you planning to collaborate with ICE to do this operation?
We are not. We're not focused on immigration. This is certainly targeted and focused on those individuals who are dealing and pushing this poison in our community. This has nothing to do with immigration. This is certainly a great partnership that we share with the Drug Enforcement Agency. But again, I say it a million times: your local sheriff's office isn't in the immigration business.
Okay, so these guys, the mayor of them are Hispanic. So where are they coming from?
Some from Mexico, some here. I don't have that information readily accessible to tell you who's here, who's undocumented. I don't have that information right now. But these individuals will be prosecuted, charges will be pressed like any other individual, regardless of their immigration status.
Talk about safety in the community. I mean, obviously these people are conducting illegal activity, and you guys have eliminated that. Do you think the people in the community in that area should feel safer?
I think because of this operation, our community can take a deep sigh of relief. They get a little break in the criminal activity and the dangerous drugs, the chemicals, everything that's associated when it comes to methamphetamine. So their violent nature, the violent behavior, everything that's associated with methamphetamine, the dealing, the addiction with methamphetamine, we absolutely can rest a little easier today because of this operation.
Can someone speak to the prevalence of this drug as compared to, I thought popular drugs now were pills and heroin. I don't know if I'm wrong, or is this prevalent in our area?
No, you're not wrong. It's a shame that we have too many drugs that become prevalent. Heroin's making a tremendous resurgence because it's cheap. It's being mass produced. And methamphetamine, we're seeing along those same lines. We have too many individuals that are hooked on painkillers, which is a synthetic derivative from heroin. And when the prescription runs out, then they turn to the heroin dealers. And the Mexican cartels, they take advantage of that. And this is no different.
Is it concerning that these cartels just view this as part of the business operation, that some of their lieutenants or business people that are, in this country are going to get arrested, they're going to lose tons of money, but they just kind of rebuild? How hard is it to stay on top of that?
That's why I began by thanking them, the hardworking men and women who sacrifice so much. They every day in and day out, they fight the good fight. They sacrifice so much time away from their families, work weekends, nights, placing themselves in these dangerous situations to make sure that we stay on top of it, that we send a loud and clear message that you're not going to deal this poison in Hillsborough County.
Were they making deals on the property, or were they sending it out?
A little bit of everything. The deals were everywhere, especially at these two locations. That's where they would store the drugs, storage facilities, if you would. But yes, they were living there and storing them there. Luckily and fortunately for our community, they weren't manufacturing them there.
Last question? All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.